Bonsoir, 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 c'est Aegon. Bienvenue dans ce quatrième épisode où on avait fini la majorité des quêtes sur Edgewater et on va voir ce que ça passe maintenant qu'on a réussi à avoir un appareil pour réparer le moteur du vaisseau.
Is this your
Oula.
ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
Je comprends que vous ne voulez pas y retourner, vous n'avez pas l'air heureux, vous n'êtes jamais monté à bord d'un vaisseau. Les habitants d'Edgewater ont besoin de vous. C'est assez pas faux. Même si l'autre il a trouvé les ingénieurs pour les nuls. Mais moi aussi j'en ai besoin. Mais qu'est-ce qu'elle les connaît en vaisseau?
I've worked on the occasional supply coach in need of repairs. Once I built a little model craft out of spare parts, but Mr. Thompson found out and I had to take it apart. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too.
Bah, comme si j'avais le choix.
What do you think?
Volontiers, choisissez une cabine, elle est à vous, on se connaît à peine. Qu'est-ce qui vous donne, envie d'aller dans l'espace avec... Pardon. Avec une parfaite inconnue.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Edgewater was on the verge of collapse before you showed up. You sent them power, and now the town might see another season. And you talked Miss McDevitt into coming back to town. Maybe one day, Edgewater will have a garden where that cannery once stood. You ain't exactly a stranger anymore. You've done some kindness hereabouts. I wouldn't mind following somebody like that.
Ouais, bon discours. Ah, c'est pour un... Ça ne m'intéresse pas. Bon, je peux pas dire non, de toute façon.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, ma'am. Captain. I can call you Captain now. I got a captain.
Ok, allez, montons. Viens voir Ada, je te présente à Ada. Ah, tiens, t'es là, toi.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Ouais, ça serait bien. Je peux pas changer le nom du vaisseau, ça serait bien parce que l'imposteur.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain?
Dommage que je peux pas mettre les sous-titres plus gros.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Ingénieur, ouais, je m'y connais. Tu peux m'expliquer le processus étape par étape?
Step 1. Pick up your power regulator. Step 2. Approach the terminal located in our engine room. Step 3. Insert power regulator. Step 4. Celebrate. Our engine room is located
D'accord.
behind you. Across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
Lol. T'es une marrante, Ada. T'es une marrante. Oula. Elle est super marrante. Par contre, elle me dit rien sur les nouveaux arrivants du vaisseau. Niveau 7. Tiens, est-ce que tu as quelque chose à me dire?
That was a good thing you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that.
D'accord, alors attends. Tab. Donc j'ai toujours 10 points. Et en dialogue. Donc ça, quand j'aurai un 50, normalement je pourrais choisir les autres points après. Vraiment, j'aurais pas besoin de les répartir. Ça, tous un point. Je pourrais choisir celui-là que je voulais. À 20 normalement, voilà. Deuxième placement de posologie pour l'annihilateur. Réparation sur le terrain permet de réparer les armes et armures non dans la... Ah, ça c'est bien ça. Plus besoin de trouver de machin. Ok, et donc il me reste 2 points. Est-ce que avantage, non. Iconoclaste. Ah oui, ça c'est les réputations. Ok. Toi, est-ce que j'ai quelque chose à te mettre ou... Non? Pas gagner de points. C'est ça. Là. Pour réparer vos équipements. Et dans le groupe. Compagnie. Journal. Hop, terminé. C'est vrai qu'il y a les 4 secondaires, bon. Là, on s'en fout. Installé à parler à d'un pour faire partir l'imposteur de la vallée des émeraudes. Ok, et ben on va voir. Je vais dévoyer le bon. Cliquez 2 fois sur sauter pour en avancer. On dire vers l'avant et parade parfaite. Juste au moment où on assène d'accord, l'ennemi sera déséquilibré. Tu fais comment la parade? C'est quoi le bouton de parade? C'est toujours un truc, je mets Z et il met toujours W là. Ça enregistre pas là, attends. Viser, parer. Ça, d'accord. Bon, attends, sauvegarder là. Hein. Ouah. Ouf. Bon, c'est dommage qu'on voit pas. Il s'est éclaté la cheville.
What can I do for you, Captain?
J'ai installé le régulateur.
Our systems are operating within acceptable parameters.
Raisonnable. C'est pas à fond quoi.
Unreliable into low altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Attends, j'ai encore des... On peut y aller. Ah. Allez, on a quitté la planète.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Bien, j'attendais justement ces nouvelles.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
Nous avons fait Phineas, il m'arrive d'avoir des vertiges parfois, moi je peux ralentir le cours du temps.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive
Pour annuler les autres colons.
Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Attends, maintenant. Ouais, j'ai air d'atterrissage de Scylla. C'est dommage, ça, il nous spoil un peu. Attends, t'as dit quoi à la fin? Sur Monarch, donc c'est une nouvelle planète. Femme charmante, elle tient une petite entreprise. J'ai une clé de navigation pour Stellar B. Donc je dois aller au précurseur. Et après à la Monarque, d'accord. Me demander de magouiller avec des escrocs, je pourrais aussi bien quelques ennemis.
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly.
Je vois la fameuse contrebandière.
Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
Qu'est-ce que je vais devoir faire pour elle?
In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience. Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures, more than capable of tearing you limb from limb.
Ouais, c'est
You'd
super
have
ça.
to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Kelly. Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the hope.
Très bien. De toute façon, comme si j'avais le choix.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design. Cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time.
Ouais.
I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
Bon, il fallait récupérer ce truc. Je merci. Orienté par voile holographique.
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits. First generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
Si ça fonctionne, vous disiez que cet engin a ses limites.
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
Pourquoi encourir un gadget dans ce genre?
The beauty is they don't expect it. The shroud is the only one of its kind. We humans have a tendency to overlook the unexpected.
Salut
Activate the disguise,
LRX.
walk past someone.
Apparemment les commandes ils ont du mal à fonctionner sur YouTube.
They won't focus on you.
Ils devraient fonctionner mais c'est bizarre, ça fonctionne pas sur YouTube. Sur Twitch ça fonctionne bien mais pas sur YouTube apparemment. Moi ça fonctionne, toi. Je fais sur Twitch. Mais sur YouTube, ça, je sais pas pourquoi ça fonctionne pas. Alors que ça devrait. Ok.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Oui. Ah, pour l'instant, non. Je vais aller voir. Normalement, dans ma cabine, il a dit j'avais un chat à récupérer. Pas mal la vue. Les vitres un peu dégueulasses, mais... holographique. Et donc ça, c'est ma config actuelle, mais... la config que j'aurai en février, ce ne sera pas celle-là. C'est la config infinite. Projet de déguisement sur vous. Ah, et vos compagnons. Badge adéquat pour la zone en question. Il faut trouver déjà le badge et après pour pouvoir mettre le voile holographique. Ouf, plus 16 800 carrément. Confiance humaine. Les Martès, le scientifique n'arrêtait pas de parler d'un certain pouvoir du marteau. Spirit Wax. Faut que je trouve sur Wells. Sur à propos de trame scientifique, si les rumeurs sont vraies, dans le machine nord, sur le percusseur, il y a Padbrook. Ok. Récupérer l'arme. Ah ben voilà, comme ça c'est. Phineas. Ah bah tiens, c'est. Ah bah attends. Ah c'est une non, c'est une poubelle. Que je vais mettre dedans par exemple. Dormi.
Captain Hawthorne used to be more dashing.
Plus classe que moi. Il avait d'autres vêtements. Oh, pas de vêtements. Sabre de sentinelle. D'accord.
Just to warn you, we may have a bedbug infestation. I am investigating non-toxic extermination measures.
Un toxique pour vous, je
Non-toxic
pense.
to you, I mean.
Une série gravée sur le châssis comprend les lettres Sam. D'accord. Ah oui, d'accord, c'est sa cabine. T'as combien de cabines, toi?
Yes, you caught me ruminating again. Guilty as charged. What's occupying your thoughts? Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently
Un temperament
enthusiastic...
violemment excessif. Super, ça rassure.
That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town, much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them. My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
Bonsoir aux personnes qui passent sur mon live. Mais vos parents n'étaient pas fiers d'avoir un fils d'équerre.
They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me. The simple version is this. The force which we call the Grand Architect created the universal equation that underlies and defines everything in the universe. Everything flows from the equation, or in layman's terms, the grand plan. Is the Grand Architect a consciousness? A natural force? Did it create the equation on purpose? The answers to these questions don't really matter. The equation, the plan, is all that matters. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in the plan.
Ça, alors, tout ce qu'on
scientism, as its name implies, believes that nature abhors equality. The strong survive, and the weak perish for the betterment of the whole. And reason, not emotion, is the seat of all morality. Wisdom means accepting the vicissitudes of life with grace and dignity.
Oh, les faibles.
I prefer to think of it as looking at reality for what it truly is, not how we'd like it to be. Yes?
T'as beaucoup de choses à dire, toi. Vous êtes confiant?
I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated. I honestly don't know what I'd do. This quest has consumed me for the better part of my life. I fear there's nothing else left to me. What about you? What's your story?
Je découvre par l'espoir, c'est ouais, c'est celui qui m'a sauvé.
And how did he do that?
Il a volé mon corps dans les...
Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment I believe you. What are you going to do now?
Je vais le dénoncer.
That seems a dangerous proposition. Why risk your life now that it's been returned to you?
J'avais de la famille à bord de l'espoir. Ça, j'en sais rien. Les amis sont sur l'espoir parce que c'est normal de le faire. Bah ouais, j'en sais rien.
Fair enough.
J'en sais rien, c'est vrai.
I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who
Tu t'as
fled
peut-être trahi
Terra
là,
some
c'est
years
ça?
ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him.
C'est un expert de Bakonu.
Oh, I'm anything but certain. But it's all I've got at the moment. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures. Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
Ça me va, allons-y, comment va-t-on trouver cette érudite manifeste?
I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the philosophist's off-world destination.
Ce philosophiste.
Thank you, Captain.
Ouais, de toute façon, comme si j'avais le choix. Ski et back grantage. Alors attends, j'ai fait ça. Donc 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, ça fait 4, 5 membres d'équipage. Lui par contre il a pris 2 trucs. J'ai l'impression. Ah non, ça c'était pas une chambre ça, non, j'ai rien dit. Deux, si, 3, 4, 5. L'autre, c'est pas pris de... de chambre. Du ketchup. Comment on écrit ketchup? De la vodka. Je. Ok. Je vais le voir Ada pour lui là. Ok, donc ça c'est ma cabine. Bonsoir à toute personne qui passe sur mon live. Alors on va voir Ada.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it, but I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate. Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear?
Ada, raconte-moi une blague.
How often do I make jokes about chemistry? Periodically.
Vérifier la fréquence de mes blagues sur la chimie périodique. LOL.
Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
Everyone in Halcyon is contractually obligated to label this or another board-certified jingle their favorite song. As you wish, Captain. I must comply with all direct orders.
T'as une minute pour discuter, j'aimerais en savoir plus sur la colonie.
I have lots of minutes. Many minutes. Unlimited minutes, perhaps. Providing an adequate power source, I can function indefinitely. I require a captain to pilot the ship. Without an identified captain or crew, I serve no purpose. As you may be aware, Captain Alex Hawthorne was a smuggler of some repute. I failed to predict the likely outcome of his reckless behavioral patterns. I should have predicted that. In our travels together, Alex liked to pass time by, as he called it, tinkering to improve my design.
Le capitaine au poste sur ce vaisseau.
If you mean, was Captain Hawthorne my first? Yes, he was. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to discuss? We're clear to dock with the groundbreaker if that's your desired destination. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in triplicate and fees have been paid. The Mardettes take their docking laws quite seriously. I can, yes. Let me add that to my list of 1,435,498 tasks on Sunday.
1 435 498 tâches.
You are more than welcome, Captain. The Groundbreaker was Halcyon's original colony ship. It has since been repurposed as a service station in the Lagrange point of the system. Freighters often deliver or pick up goods from the Groundbreaker en route to other destinations. The city ship hosts an array of cargo bays, factories, housing sections, and more. Many of Halcyon's companies maintain office spaces with stationed representatives in what is considered a truly neutral territory within the system. I have filed the required docking forms in triplicate, and fees have been paid.
Okay.
Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Where in Terra 2? Edgewater is the sparkling county seat of Emerald Vale, or it was when first built. Since then, neglect and time have worn away her shiny veneer. The town is near the coordinates where Captain Hawthorne died. It would not be unfortunate if something, like say a plague, were to wipe Emerald Vale from the face of the planet. You mean the ones who did not answer my distress call with medical assistance, but instead came to issue my injured captain a parking ticket? I'm sure they are wonderful humans who don't deserve to be wiped out by starvation or a devastating plague. Since you diverted power to Edgewater, the botanical lab shut down, and the deserters were forced to return to town. Meanwhile, the cannery's output increased, enabling the town's population to prosper. Thank you for nothing, Captain. I cannot say. First, I need to adjust my memory interpretation sensors, but I think my answer is yes. How can I be of assistance?
Non.
Take care. I require a functioning captain to run the ship.
Ok. Attends, 3 mètres. Ok. Alors, journal. Ah, faut que je filme ça. Non. D'abord ça. On y va. Par contre, l'autre, elle est passée où? Attends, c'est lequel qui a été modifié? C'est celui-là, j'espère qu'il a été modifié, non? À spécifier dessus? Ah bah elle est là.
Sometimes I wonder about Mr. Hawthorne. What was he like? Why did he make the computer a talkie? You think he got lonely, flying about on his own?
On dirait au revoir. Moi je lui dirais de partir. On sort à Angel 01. Voilà. Putain, c'est dans 4 minutes, sans bruit. Tu mets à 3 bons mois. Macérateur acide. Il y a un troupeau de rosouets. J'irai le chercher en revenant du prochain point de... D'accord, ouais. Ça m'a pas rajouté un truc? Quête de campagne. Ah, rosouet, je pense à ça. Ça va être chiant de... Ça va être chaud d'y penser. Alors, dans le tartare. Si la taïf. Taïf. Ouais, voilà, c'est là qu'on...
The ground.
Je pense à la carte stellaire. Tous les employés riches.
Breaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
Attends, je regarde la carte. Elle est pas mal la carte. Hein. Là, c'est pas découvert là. On sait pas ce que c'est ça. Ouais, parce que là on voit un truc, là il y a un truc, mais là il y a rien. Terra 2.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
T'as quelque chose à me dire?
See you soon, Captain.
Soon. Ada.
Can we talk?
Ouais.
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson. I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
Alors, voilà. Cause des capables d'assurer mes vaisseaux, quitter mon équipage pour rejoindre la sienne.
Okay. I don't want to waste your time or nothing.
Ok. Allons sur le précurseur. Ah, donc je peux avoir 6 compagnons. Ah ouais, quand même. Ben, je peux en prendre, c'est jusqu'à 2. Oui. Continuer. Merde. Je voulais prendre les 2. Chier. C'est pas grave, je peux en rentrer. Sortir. Là, attends. Ah bah. Bah si, ils sont tous les deux là. Ok.
Just checking your ship's manifest. Standard procedure. Welcome to Groundbreaker, by the by.
Merci.
Don't mind the heat. Got a few days before it reaches critical. I'm sure Miss Chief Tennyson will get it sorted before then.
Oh bah bien.
Smells like grease and unwashed bodies. Just as I remembered.
That's not the point. This halfway just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses. He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little backbait rat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the Groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this.
Going for a stroll around the docking base? Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardettes all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs.
Quelle est votre version? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé? Je dois dire que vous aimiez quelqu'un.
The guy insulted my Rizzo's Rangers, all right? You can't just insult my Rangers and expect to get away with it.
L'équipe
So,
de
of
sport, ça?
course, I decked him with a tossball stick. I mean, what am I? Some kind of fair-weather fan?
Voilà, c'est bien ce que je me dis.
Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting.
Il est différent comme on a dit, je me trompe.
That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation. You know something? I am lucky. I ought to raise a glass of 0G to my fortune, if I had the bits. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it? Oh, just musing is all. Must be nice having the run of the colony. Never being anchored to one place, always chasing some horizon. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time. Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance. See you around, boss.
Ah, boss, déjà. Est-ce que toi tu parles?
Just arrived? Head over to customs. Wheeler needs to process you.
Ok. Ok.
If it wasn't for us, this whole damn station would shut down.
J'ai rien pris, hein. Par contre, je dois d'ouvrir pour.
Do you mind? I'm trying to file a report.
Move along.
Yeah, I've done work for Sublight. Need to pay the bill somehow.
Yeah, I've done work for Sublight.
T'as dit la même chose que l'autre?
Ooh, cargo, 16 hours a day. I still can't afford a bed.
J'ai utilisé avec le voilà. C'est désormais uniquement. Quasiment lorsque vous pénétrez dans la zone interdite correspondante. Je pense à les voler, ça. Ok.
I could spend hours reflecting on the secret workings of the universe. Little else in this colony offers such a relaxing pastime. So, tell me what's on your mind. I excel at confessional listening.
C'était pas le moment. Ok.
It's always fucking freezing in the days.
Continuez à être tourné vers les caisses. Allez-y. Vous me voyez pas, je suis pas là.
You don't pay your docking fees, your ship gets seized. I've seen it happen.
Ça, je peux pas. Tiens.
That's quite the impressive list of infractions.
J'ai pas eu le temps de voir ce que t'as dit. Kirmax. Ça, on l'a déjà vu. Ça va, elle est bonne la cigarette?
Take it to Chief Junlei. She's an engineer.
Right this way. Identification, please.
Je sais que je n'ai pas de carte.
Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
Super.
We've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. Can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important.
Tu m'étonnes que j'ai contrarié. Je vais aller lui exploser la tête à ce Bradford.
You take the starch out of him, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor? Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. A handful of SAM cleaning units retrofitted for surgery.
Tiens.
I don't know much else. I stopped listening when she started yelling. Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Pour une place où j'ai du Dôme Belfort.
He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison. They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them.
D'accord.
You sure you didn't just step off one of the interstellar freighters? There's no working with the board. They don't share, not bits, people, or resources. You work for them, or you don't work at all. Groundbreaker cooperating now would be tantamount to joining their ranks, and we sure as shit ain't about to do that. It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new Groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative to overrun you. But whether you allow that is up to you.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we may do all right. So far, anyway. Yep. Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing bays. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year. Sure thing. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. She'll set you right. You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony. Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. Two biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though.
Par contre, ouais. Donc si j'ai pas le vaisseau, je cherche quelque chose de peu plus local.
Are you pulling my leg? You must be one of them long-haul freighters from outside the colony. Well, I won't hold it against you. It goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board. Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see the inside of it myself. Glad to help. They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them. Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
If you're thinking to make a career here, don't waste your time. Full-time jobs on Groundbreaker tend to be inherited, or go to a fellow crew member's kid. Keep it in the family, you know. All right.
Est-ce que je peux lui dire ça?
The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Be seeing you.
Une dôme à 10. Attends, comment? Chut. Ah, mince.
It's not the best choice. It's Mrs. Choice.
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I must kindly ask you to clear out. The Mardet's offices aren't for leisure time nor loitering.
J'ai mon chemin.
Do I look like your gossipy best friend? While I'm on post, I take my duties real serious. I would have no qualms whatsoever escorting you to a cell. Understand? I'm not here for a chat. Now get moving before I see you moved. The outlaw scientist fella, right. The board's had it out for him for ages. If you have an inkling of the wheres or what fors of his location, Udon Bedford would surely like to hear it. Glad to hear it. Anything else? We're the security force here on Groundbreaker. Started back before the crossing, you know. The original force was made up of a Marine detachment from the 77th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Trailward Fleet. Folks started calling us Mardettes because it was easier to say. Guess it stuck. Last tip we got pointed toward the back bays. You want the reward? Do the legwork. Oh, I will. Soon as the chief approves the personnel reorg required for a bounty dispatch. So, in about 3 to 7 weeks. You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only a matter of time before someone brings me McRed's head, or his lucky lighter, as proof of kill. I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Good luck and skip speed to you.
This is it.
I picked up this weird signal the other day.
Find out which crew change. I mean, stop shipped in and out. It's a wasteland. You're hearing things.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static at first, but then this voice said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
You know, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
Who told you that? Graham?
Asshole.
What do you think you're doing? Just don't complicate my job, okay?
Lol. Donc en fait c'est toi qui m'as vu de l'autre côté là-bas. Attends. Ah bah oui. Bon. Il n'y avait pas marqué voler donc j'ai pris. On ira d'abord aller voir Gladys.
Hey,
Even the air costs money here.
Just passing through, minding my own business.
Pour l'instant là. Peut-être après. Hop, je prends. Voilà. 4 mètres.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. The board would like to remind spacers and other travelers that
I'm gonna head to
passage to Mars
Vera's
is
for whiskey and
restricted
darts.
for
Maybe not in that order.
Canyons of acid and sulfur rain are the least of the horrors plaguing the surface of Mars.
Donc.
Live as one with the animals, lost, savage, and unemployed. The board's embargo ensures that nothing can leave the planet and threaten
Tu
our
rates, tu bouges pas. Hein.
This is Halcyon News, reminding you that there's no I in news, no we in Halcyon.
J'ai la carte pour aller Chaîne Express. Donc apparemment pour y aller. KD. Je sais pas, pour l'instant ils me servent pas à grand chose.
far as you know, I'm not drinking on duty.
Ça manque un peu de monde, hein. Armure anti-émeute. Science. Crochetage. Carte. « 238, ah oui quand même.
Huh?
Fait les poubelles.
How do you do? And welcome to the Rest and Go. We used to be the Go and Rest, but folks never knew when to leave. Sorry. Business has been slow. Anything to occupy the time. Fine, as long as the board keeps its grubby mitts to itself. Chief Tennyson holds the ship together, the Promenade holds our economy together, and Sublight is the shoddy jewel in our rusty old crown. Of course, most of our supplies come and go through merchants. Company ships and salvage runs are the only traffic we tend to get. I try and steer clear of that creepy fellow in the moon mask. If there's a cost to being a company man, he paid it in spades. Our local garbage collectors. That Lilia Hagen never met a debris field she didn't like. She freely admits she planted her roots in Groundbreaker to escape board oversight. But I think there's more to it. She's unusual in the head, that one. Our Chief Tennyson has an independent streak, same as her mother and grandmother who rode this ship on the crossing. There's a reason the board's embassy is a glorified shoebox. While Junlei Tennyson lives and breathes, Groundbreaker remains free. Oh, you can't miss her. Right behind you, number 2. First unit on the left, or second unit from the right, depending on which direction you count from.
Attends, un petit peu. Ok.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was this your room? I'll just move along. Wait, this is almost certainly my room.
Je vole pas, je regarde. Hein.
Bless my heart. A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door. You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient or an oven. Just like store-bought.
Qui m'envoie?
Won a charming copper kettle off that girl who runs the pub. She's a fierce arm wrestler, but she's no match for your pal Gladys.
Stock privé. Tout dépend, je pense, là. Ah oui, combien ça vaut, ça? 388. Ah non, 5000. Et pourtant, il y a marqué 388.
If you're here for this week's magazine club meeting, you're a touch late. Those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board's control. For the time being, at least. Now, I only have the one nav key. And they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. If you find yourself lacking in the bits, I might have an opportunity you'd be interested in.
Ouf, 10 000. Ah oui.
Phineas, that old kook. He was quite the dancer back in his prime, did he tell you? Real light on his feet. Real light in the wallet, too. He still owes me a small fortune. Laws. Maybe I should charge you double. Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Might be this could help out the Groundbreaker, as well as earn some bits. But if you've got qualms...
Bon, les détails. Vous avez d'autres... C'est qu'on n'est pas obligé d'accepter.
Might want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. She's been trying to get a handle on this heat problem we've got. You'll find her fretting in engineering. I'd say she's a sweet girl, but law forfend someone call me a liar. Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to find me. Here, take a candy with you.
Ok, allons voir ce qu'elle propose l'autre et après, quitte à revenir. Peut-être pas, tiens, lui parler. Et après... Ah oui, Dr. Wanda aussi. Attends. je n'ai... Attends, je viendrai te parler après parce que je fais tout en même temps, ça va être... Attends, Infirmière, attends, médical B.
Me out of there?
Please don't make a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene.
C'est pas toi qui...
I'm sorry.
Dans la pub,
Am I
là?
causing a scene? See, Furu? We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk to Jessie in the first place. Let me get one thing straight. Jessie and I are not friends. I just owe her, okay? As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's apparently not receiving visitors. Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy, I'll be impressed.
What seems to be the problem?
What Jessie do?
Not without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. Supplies are hard to come by out here.
Okay.
We don't have the ability to manufacture our own medical supplies here on Groundbreaker. Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics, as well as more critical resources like adequately trained staff. We'd nearly signed a supply agreement with Anti-Cleos, but they demanded we only use their branded drugs, and that's simply not tenable. If only my other patients had so many inquiring after them. I'll tell you what I've told the others. The records say Miss Doyle checked herself in and requested I admit no visitors. The requests of our patients are paramount, so no, you may not see her. She's not my patient. I'm certain no one on my staff would falsify patient records, if that's what you're implying. Take care.
D'accord.
Can't say I've seen you before. I take it you're a freighter captain? If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. We're having a spot of trouble with our delivery service.
Pardon, vous lâchez la croix.
I'm expecting our delivery fellow to stop through with medical supplies and service auto mechanicals. Name's Captain Irion. A brave idiot with a penchant for getting himself delayed. Sometimes by dates, usually by bandits. Surgery mostly. Medical personnel are difficult to come by on Groundbreaker. The board won't let their doctors and nurses station here, and they own all the medical schools. If we can't hire their people, we can't hire anyone. Everyone on staff here on Groundbreaker was trained by me or Idris. We're good, don't get me wrong. But we've only 2 heads between us, and we don't know everything. I'd be grateful if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. That's where I'd start, were I the adventuring type. You look out, though. The place is probably crawling with outlaws.
Niveau 8.
Can't hardly think with Dr. Fenhill's yelling.
Miss Doyle isn't having any visitors, even friends.
Voilà, attends, les sorciers et tout. Ah mais non, je devais voir l'infirmière, quel con. Donc ça, hein. Sauvegarder. Oula, ah oui.
To the last ratted on rotten time, leave me in peace! You hull-headed quacks do know that restful recuperation requires not being disturbed, don't you? What? Why? Everything's fine. We're all fine here. No need for her to be worrying her pretty little head about me. I'm just terrible, dreadful sick is all. Got a cough that won't quit and sores all over my body. Highly, lethally contagious. But I'll be fine, so long as I'm left alone. Criminy. She really ain't gonna drop this, is she? Alright, okay. We can discuss this like the level-headed folk that we are. Seems I've got to do something before Ellie goes jabbering my business to anyone with one ear and an intent to listen.
Ah bah tiens, t'as changé aussi. Ah oui, t'as un déguisement aussi. D'accord, en fait.
The truth is, I'm not sick. But if you repeat what I'm about to tell you to anyone, I will deny it with my dying breath. You, ain't with the board, are you? See, I owe them a lot. I might have missed a payment or two, and the other night I swear someone was following me back to my room. So I hold up here to lay low. What? No, I didn't do anything. I'm a law-abiding denizen of this ship, I swear. You'd let a poor, ill woman get disappeared by the board? Awfully cold-blooded of you. Though I admire your backbone. All right, I'll fess this part up too, if it means you'll help me. I'm a thief. I specialize in particularly high-end and historically valuable items. 3 weeks back, I caught rumor that the blood-tier diamond, last worn by an heiress on the Lost Hope, had surfaced for the first time in 70 years. If I had, you think I'd be hiding out in the med bay? I was gonna steal it, lined up Udom as my buyer. He paid half up front to finance the operation. Let's just say things went sideways about the time I got my hands on the diamond, and it crumbled to stardust in my palm. Anywho, I barely made it out with my life, and nary a plan to make back Udom's deposit I'd spent. Udom Bedford's the board guy on the station. He'd know how I stand with them. If you can square things for me, I'd owe you one even bigger than Ellie owes me.
Mhm.
Thanks for helping me with the board. You're a real pal. Or I guess I should say, Ellie is one, huh?
Et barrons-nous d'ici. Avant que le...
Any word on Jesse?
Attends, est-ce... Attends, ah merde. Est-ce qu'elle m'a dit de pouvoir lui parler? Je me souviens plus.
Let's just say she did me a favor and now I owe her. So, did you find her, or what? Good luck. The board's got an office on the promenade just before engineering. You can't miss it.
Ouais, j'ai hésité à lui en parler. Hein. Alors, attends. Des points à mettre. Attends, encore renforcé. Ah, il a gagné quelque chose. Hein. En piratage, sournoiserie. Ah. C'est-à-dire que c'est lui qui me donne tout plus 10 en pirate. Qu'est-ce que vous cachetez, vous deux, là? Remets ton truc, là.
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
Yeah, no one wants you on Groundbreaker.
These stairs are board property. Disperse now, or I'll detain you for trespassing.
Oh, real scary. You're really gonna arrest us on our station?
Yeah, this is Chief Junling's ship. You don't own shit here.
Step back. I'm required by board bylaws to use excessive force.
The Mardettes would space you for trying, you waste of O2 scrubbers.
Yeah, O2 scrubbers.
Look, just get out of here before I tell your captain what you've been getting up to on the clock.
Ah, whatever. We got a date at the Lost Hope.
I'm just gonna hang in bed.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regular...
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. You must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. And you are not he. Has something happened to my favorite scruffy freelancer?
En spratouche.
Oh no, this is terrible. My dear friend, what devilry is this? In whose miserable fever dream am I trapped? Oh, Alex. There were so many arguments we'd yet to have. He was my dearest friend. My only friend. You have his ship, you must know. That picture of us on the promenade, me hugging him, him wincing. I keep a copy beside my bed. Did he? Ah, that's just like him. Such a sentimental man. Tell me, how did he die?
Il a été développé par des canidés enragés, les modules éjectables.
No! How dreadful. That was always Alex's greatest fear, you know. Devoured by those fiends. Becoming one with their droppings.
Sujet qui m'intéresse.
Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. Big, exciting, important places. There, I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you where Wells might be? Anything at all? You haven't read the posters? He's a terrorist, a thief, a madman. It's really in the colony's best interest that we stop him before he does further harm. Well, Alex knew, or he said he did. And you have his ship. Maybe he kept some records around, or a conveniently placed note on his bedside table.
Je sais même pas où il est.
That's... well, that's just terrible news. Law, what am I going to do now? The board will have my head. I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional of me.
Est-ce que tu essaies de dire que tu as un travail pour toi pour t'aider ou...
It's personal business, I'm afraid. Miserably, terribly personal.
Arrêtez de jouer au plus fin.
I don't intend to be. It's just a matter of trust. Information on the whereabouts of Phineas Wells would go a long way. It's... well, it's my white whale, I suppose. It's fine, really. It's perfectly fine. I understand. Now, if you've nothing else, please see yourself out. I'd like to drown myself in work.
Je sais où trouver, je suis là pour parler de gestes idoles.
Be my guest.
Pouvez-vous mener à Stellar B?
I'm the certified representative of the board's interests here on the Groundbreaker. I'm their eyes, ears, and busy little hands. I send a lot of messages. Sometimes I read them. Every once in a while, I'll impound a ship if I want to feel alive.
Law, but it's miserable. My underarms are damp. How can I be expected to work in these conditions? Chief Tennyson is supposedly looking into the cause, but I've seen no action from her. Deplorable conduct. My superiors will be hearing about it. You can be certain of that. Oh, you've noticed my friends. Wonderful. Aren't their guns very large? Tremendously impressive. They're here to keep the peace, of course. Precisely. Groundbreaker makes much ado about its independent status and so resents any board presence, no matter how benign. Please, go ahead. Good law! Who'd want to go to that toxic hell pit? No. Emphatically no. Unequivocally no. Immutably no.
Un simple nombre suffit pas la peine de sortir le dictionnaire des synonymes.
Best to be clear, I believe. Ask away.
Miss Doyle owes the board a significant sum. Alas, the only collateral she has is her organs. Compulsory donation is quite legal in such cases. That's not unreasonable.
I guess it's better than losing your organs, but I don't know, Captain. Just doesn't seem right.
Miss Doyle is deeply in debt, and the board has every right to do whatever they like to recoup that debt. What guarantee do I have that she'll agree to the terms you negotiate?
Mais si on prend solution de travail, qu'elle a tué comme prix.
I quite concur. It's refreshing to deal with someone practical for a change. I will recall my collection agent. Tell Miss Doyle to report to me promptly for her first assignment. Now, is there anything else you need, or can I return to my work? Be my guest.
A luxury stateroom, reserved for Chairman Rockwell's use. Oh, good law, of course not. He'd never set foot on this decrepit junk pile. As this office is the primary embassy for the board on Groundbreaker, corporate bylaws specifically state a room must be maintained for the chairman's exclusive use. Ask away.
Ok, eh ben sauvegarde. Eh ben hop, je vais sauvegarder là. Et faire une petite pause. Sur ce, je vous dis à tout de suite. de compagnie. Pourtant c'est pas mon compagnon. Ah bah tiens.
Good to see you, Ellie. At least you finally got your chance to square our debt. That ought to make you smile for once, huh?
Nothing makes me happier than being even. Except being right. That's nice too. The good news came through the wireless. Looks like you paid my debt to Jesse. I guess that means I owe you now, right? Tell you what, I'm a little short on bits at the moment, but I'm a decent scrapper and a better than average sawbones. If you're looking for a medic, I can work my debt off.
Vous n'aimez vraiment pas avoir de dette?
If I'm being honest, and I prefer not to, I was about ready to pick up another contract anyway, and you settled this in a pretty tidy fashion, which tells me you're competent.
Propre, je sais pas.
But we can say I'm repaying the favor if you prefer that version. She helped me win a bet. We were on a smuggling run planet side when our point man bet me I couldn't outrun a mantisaur. And, as you can probably guess, the thing was faster than it looked. Probably would have caught me if Jesse hadn't picked it off. Yeah, but the important thing is I won the bet. It's like people touching a cookie and leaving it in the box. It's just one of those things that gets under my skin. You won't be sorry. Though it looks like you've got a full roster already. Time to play favorites, Captain. Traveling in style, are we? I'll be sure to nab a cabin with a view.
Dr. Fenhill, glad you opted to join us. It'll be good to have a Sawbones on the crew.
D'accord. Ça c'est fait. Ah bah tiens, on va aller voir. Il y a plein d'autres choses à faire dans ce... La 10, oui.
Sublight for life. Corporations never lifted a finger for me.
Si on a des contrats.
If you're hungry, you've come to the right place. I've got a fresh ground batch of spratwurst cooking. They're terrified to lock in the juices. How about a grinder's dozen? You know what sprats are? Space rats. The laboratories of Spacer's Choice found a use for this limitless frontier resource. Sprat meat is plenty tasty when properly prepared. We grind them up in sausages, then terror-fry them in their own juices. Absolutely not. Spratwurst and all related terms are registered trademarks of Spacer's Choice. Boar, the other meat, is a registered trademark of C&P. Everyone knows our company and theirs are nothing alike. Terror frying is a Spacer's Choice brand secret, a mix of 13 herbs and spices, plus a dash of modern chemistry. Legally? No. The terrafrying method was developed and marketed by Spacer's Choice. Between you, me, and this grinder, I've been through lean times. If there's one thing you learn on tramp freighters, it's how to make near anything edible. Might be that this old space hand put a few words in the right ears, and could be that Spacer's Choice liked sticking it to C&P by R&D'ing our own special meat. Just as well, near about time for me to go check on the trap. I mean, to unload another crate of farm-fresh sprats. Fresh from the grinder, any hour.
Juste pour lui faire plaisir. Un
You look
armurier.
like someone who's taken their share of cuts and bruises. Need some armor. Maybe it's a bit secondhand, but that's only a testament to its durability. We also have a line of specialized melee weapons, for those times you have to repel boarders but don't want to risk a bullet through the hull. Everything I sell is fresh from the forge. Technically, the metal formed billions of years ago, but it's freshly in this shape. Not me, but it's in my blood. After the crossing, my family worked Eridanos, indentured to the corporations. I was born into corporate labor, but I'm the first one of my family to buy my way out. That's why I settled on Groundbreaker. It's the last bastion of freedom.
Trois. Gilet de travail. Soldat esquive plus 7. Aramide plastique, aramide plastique. Combien ça vaut ça? 500? Ça 600. Découpeur plasma. 545, par contre ça. Quel con, je l'ai vendu au lieu d'acheter. Attends, je...
Hearty greeting, potential customer. Welcome to Auntie's Kitchen, a home-style consumable protein dispensary. May this unit dispense proteins for your ingestion. Beginning dispensing sequence. Please unblock all relevant facial protein ingestion tubes.
Non, je peux pas passer par là. Je fais pour aller là. Est-ce que j'ai une carte? Tant qu'on recherche, c'est lui qu'on recherche. Alors attends. Ah bah non, c'est pas du tout là. Attends, puisque t'es là, est-ce qu'on peut te parler?
Look at this ripe piece of meat just sizzling on the grill. Yum, yum. Time to feed the flames.
It's nothing personal. Promise.
Is this what carbon monoxide poisoning looks like? I don't think this deck is too well ventilated.
Speaking for myself, Captain, I am not of a mind to be murdered by a psychopath who plays with fire.
You came with the crew. Welcome. We got plenty of space to spread out, but only room for one captain. I know this ain't a toy, neighbor from above. It's a catalyst, just like me. Keep talking. I like the sound of your voice. Passing through? This is dead-end territory. But you talk like you're on a journey. The path matches your step, stretches out ahead of you. Yeah. The second floor is my place. Off limits to the likes of you. Whatever business brings you down to my domain, keep it local.
D'accord. Je reviendrai. J'ai autre chose à faire. Je sais que c'est là. Ok. Je n'étais pas très habillé pour l'attaquer. Ah bah tiens. Ah oui, j'ai des points à mettre. Ah bah oui, tiens. Alors attends. On va sauvegarder. Et on va redescendre. On va essayer de se le faire. Par contre, il faut que je change d'habit. C'est une meilleure protection. Tout de soldat là. Ah merde, bon. J'aurais tenté. Alors, charger une partie. C'est laquelle? Est-ce que je peux l'avoir par... en fait, pas derrière? L'assommer. Est-ce que je... Ah, d'accord. J'étais pas loin. Mais là, c'est tous les ennemis en même temps. Alors, je peux aller essayer de les viser de loin. Ou alors les envoyer eux devant. Putain. Putain. Oh, je suis mort. Oh, je les ai tous faits. Il y a plein de trucs en bas là. Hein? Là, attends. Est-ce que j'ai tout bien fouillé?
Everyone get branded when they join with Red's crew? I guess
Non. On n'a pas fait de détails, on n'a pas le temps de discuter. Non, non. Ça c'est fait. Qui était là. Voilà. Je sais pas, faut regarder là.
Today's my birthday. Oh yeah? Fuck your birthday.
Ça peut être servir. De toute façon, ça pouvait fonctionner pour autre chose. Ou une autre quête. D'où tu sortais, toi? Non, je crois que j'ai tout C'est bon, on n'a plus qu'à les rendre. Récupérer du pognon. J'ai récupéré des lunettes aussi. Discrétion plus 5. Attends. Je sais plus, il y avait. Je crois que pour. Ouais, à la rigueur, là. Casse comme ça, je peux l'afficher. Cherchons la prime. Allons chercher la prime. Voilà. Ça, ouais. Le pognon, le pognon, le pognon, on se dépêche.
How goes the hunt? I've been ruminating on it, and I decided, if you ain't killed McRed yet, I want you to hurt him a little before you do. Nothing excessive, mind you, but the scoundrel deserves a light beating at least.
Trop tard. J'ai plutôt tué à la mitrailleuse.
I believe I'm growing fond of you, bounty hunter. If you got the Mardets' backs, the Mardets have got yours. Here's the bounty payout.
Oh, c'est
Nice
bien.
work down there. With any luck, we can hire more sharp-eyed bounty hunters like you in the future.
Et tu me donnes ce... D'accord. On a tenu un cartouche d'Octo 2000, des détox x2. Précurseur.
With that bastard McRed dead, there ain't much else in the offing. Not that I'm complaining, mind you.
D'accord. Ça. À la rigueur, c'est dommage que ça pouvait protéger. Esquive. Que visuellement c'est moche. Si on pouvait mettre un skin à la rigueur par dessus pour cacher. Ok. C'est quoi? Ouais, toujours elle, allez voir. Combien j'ai sur moi? Parce que je sais pas. Tout ça on peut vendre en fait. Dissipateur. Ah, peut-être que ça pourrait servir pour l'autre en bas là. Ça me dit pas combien j'ai d'argent en fait.
think you're doing? Just don't make more paperwork for me, all right?
Voilà. Pour vendre. Plein de trucs encore à visiter. Hein.
You know that sound when you've snapped on an injector clip?
Ah, bordel d'armure, là c'est les armes.
That's how you know your weapon loves you back. I got a full line of weapon modifications I'd be happy to show you.
Ah, j'ai que 3000. (173, 165), c'est le automag. Ok, c'est un... Voilà. Il est censé être là, à 20 mètres. 15 mètres. Ah, peut-être pas.
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Groundbreaker doesn't see many visitors. No, it isn't. It's a mess. But it's my mess, so I'll take the compliment. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope there won't be any problems while you're visiting. Good. Don't go making trouble, and chances are you won't find any. That's how I like it here. So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just passing through.
Je vais pouvoir reprendre ma route vers Monarque, je sais pas.
Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. Maybe someone in the promenade can get you the right weapon for the job. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outsiders. You seem different, so welcome aboard. Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated
Ouais, j'en ai
air
une,
into
tiens,
my ship.
justement.
Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me into a corner. None. Every time I give in to the board, Groundbreaker loses its freedom. Soon there won't be anything left. I can't allow that. The board isn't helping, and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online, Groundbreaker, everyone aboard, will be cooked alive. Those are... Wow. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Remarkable. How did you... I'll take those. I need you to head through the large door at the far end of the
Ça, c'est... Ah non.
Take the elevator down into the machinery shaft. There's a terminal in the back. Activate it when I call over the ship's PA. And bring weapons. There's a slight mantipillar infestation. More than a few. Less than a hive. Nothing you can't handle. We were salvaging parts from a ship. Turned out there were eggs inside. They got into the radiators, and here we are.
Don't worry, Miss Junlei. We'll be super gentle with the ship. You don't got a thing to worry about. I mean, aside from fires and such.
I'm genuinely heartened to hear that. Thank you.
Ah, attends.
Those repairs won't make themselves.
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name. What can I do for you?
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual, real spaceships, Miss Junlei. Chief Junlei.
Junlei is fine.
Force of habit, I guess. Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if... Well, maybe you could teach me some things. I could message you later, maybe?
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati. You can ask me anything.
Wow, great! I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Oh, your name's pretty too. I should have said... Sorry. I like it. Honest. Sorry. Couldn't have done it without your moral support, Captain.
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other parts of the ship begging for my attention. Frustrating. Everything down to the circuit boards is past warranty, so I have the pleasure of making life or death decisions on a shoestring budget. Plus, there's no time to train my successor or document fixes in a way that anyone outside the family would understand. Sure is. The Tennysons came over on the groundbreaker. My grandmother, Chief Gang, kept it together during the crossing and until she died. I was promoted only recently, when my mom died. Then I took the leap from chief engineer to captain.
They must have been amazing people to have taught you all you know, I mean, which is a lot.
That means a lot coming from a fellow engineer. It was different knowing that I couldn't turn to anyone who could answer the tough questions for me. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker. This ship is family. It's got tinkerings and bypasses that only Tennysons know about.
Faire sur exemple pour vous aider à partie du fardeau.
You've got my attention. You're right, I don't. The board is after two things, bits and power, and they only get it by sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. I like to think of myself as a nice person, but if that gaudy embassy of his was on fire, I might hold my breath a moment before activating the sprinkler system. The board wants control over Groundbreaker, and leeches like Udom Bedford will do anything to please their corporate masters. I placate them when I have something to offer, but I can also be a real hard-ass. It'd be a joy if I could kick out the corporate merchants and reclaim the docking fees in my lifetime. Too much of Groundbreaker's income is flowing in the wrong direction. I'd like to see that change. You've got my attention.
Ok, eh ben moi je vais sauvegarder là. Et on verra ça jeudi pour la suite. Car demain soir normalement c'est le dernier épisode pour l'instant de Ghost Recon. Et normalement mercredi ce sera du RDR2 normalement. Sur ce, je remercie les personnes qui sont passées en direct ou en replay. Et je vous dis à bientôt.